government money. Where is it going towards? Well, some of you people may say that all the money we're spending, all the money that's being spent, is going straight to Iraq to fund a Sesame Street type show for Iraq. Some of us are thinking it's spending money on Israel for some of their ideas for their country. Others are thinking we're sending money to Ukraine to fight a power-hungry dictator in Vladimir Putin. But oh no, somewhere along the line, it's about DI, a DI musical. Best spent money from USAID. This is insanity. According to PolitiFact, they are distorting the facts. Of course, here's the book. Here's what it says. Republicans, calling the slash government spending, have scrutinized the U.S. Agency for International Development Programs and questioned the need for some of its spending. The president, inept clown's administration, has pointed to a range of programs as emblematic of the federal agency's waste, from political subscriptions to anti-disinformation campaigns and diversity-based theater productions. Oh my God! We're wasting money on political subscriptions and fighting against disinformation and diversity-based theater shows. That's rich coming from this buffoon. Of course, White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt said in a press conference on Wednesday, saying Americans want their tax dollars going to good uses, not stuff like this. After reading aloud a list of USAID grants, but not all of the programs Leavitt referred to in recent days were USAID funded, and not all of them are being described accurately by the White House and social media commentators. That's a good thing. USAID is the U.S. government's international humanitarian and development arm, created by Congress under President John F. Kennedy. Its programs have aimed to address disease and hunger and promote democracy all around the world. Of course, Elon Musk, billionaire CEO of Tesla and SpaceX, and the X social media platform, and a close ally to Inept Clown, has been working to shut down the agency through the Government of Government Efficiency, called DOGE, a non-governmental aid group he's leading. Nearly all of that's rich. Nearly all USAID spending has been frozen, and most of its employees have been placed on administrative leave. Secretary of State Marco Rubio is now the agency's acting director. Going from pro-USAID to anti-USAID is really helping Marco Rubio in a way, now that he's Secretary of State and now buddies with Inept Clown. Of course, in a February 5th interview with PBS NewsHour, Andrew Natsios, former USAID administrator under President George W. Bush, said it's not unusual for a new administration to change the AIDS agency's direction. But the headline-grabbing programs were not emblematic of UA's overall work, he said. He said aid is one of the great powers, humanitarian powers in the world, for the United States to protect the American people in our national interests and to protect the people in the developing world from disease, from hunger, and to advocate and to change policies to encourage economic growth and investment. PolitiFact looked into several programs USAID detractors have called wasteful spending. They found that some of the claims misrepresent the facts about funding sources and project scopes. Let's start with one of them. Payments for political pro subscriptions. My goodness, what is going on with this country? Of course, take a screenshot of a U.S. government website showing that the political news outlet Politico received $18 billion in government contracts circulated February 5th on X, which is owned by Elon Musk, by the way. Many sharing the post said USAID was funding Politico. This is conservative commentator Charlie Kirk, who runs the group Turning Point USA, said in an X post when we sharing the screenshot says, "So let me get this straight. USAID has been spending millions of taxpayer dollars every year funding not only the BBC, but also political? Wow, Charlie, you figured it out. You must be a big idiot. USA did not give millions of taxpayer dollars to Politico. The spending came from agencies across the federal government for subscriptions to Politico Bro, according to USA Spending, the database that tracks government grants and contracts. Politico Pro is Politico's new subscription service aimed primarily at businesses. It provides news, analysis, and legislative tools for researchers, policymakers, and lobbyists, and subscriptions can cost thousands of dollars. Of course, in 2024, USAID paid $24,000 to Politico for one subscription to E&E News, a political subsidiary. The agency also bought an E&E News subscription in 2023 for $20,000. In an email to PolitiFact, Turning Point USA spokesperson Andrew Kovet, not COVID, but Kovet, Kolvet. That's how it's spelled, that's how it sounds. What said Cook was referring to the top line figure of $8 million in taxpayer dollars going to Politico. Kovet acknowledged the amount coming from U.S. aid was smaller, but questioned its necessity. He wrote, and it says Kovet wrote, it may seem small given the overall size and scope of the federal deficit, but it's emblematic and of an overall problem with spending in Washington, D.C. Congressmen, congresswomen spending money on Politico Pro subscriptions? Politico getting rich off Congress and Senate? Wow, that is so rich, folks. Of course, the $8.1 million figure circulating on social media represented the amount Politico received in all federal contracts in the last 12 months, according to USA Spending. Since 2015, when Politico got its first government contracts, Politico has received at least $30 million for subscriptions across the federal government for its pro service, according to USA Spending. So I guess agencies across the seas in Washington have been using that service, and a lot of so that's really much where the $8 million are going to. That's pretty much saying a lot. In an email letter, February 6th, which is yesterday, Politico CEO Goli Shikoslami and editor-in-chief John Harris explained that some government officials use Politico Pro, but they rebutted claims that Politico received government subsidies or grants. They wrote government agencies that subscribe do so through standard public procedure processes, just like any other tool they buy to work smarter and be more efficient. This is not funding, it is a transaction, just as the government buys research, equipment, software, and industry reports. Wow, that's pretty much says a lot. And then there's this diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives. Holy mackerel. This gets really weird for me. Of course, Levitt named several initiatives from former President Joe Biden's administration that focused on diversity, equity, inclusion, and LGBTQ plus issues. Levitt also said USAID has given $2 million for sex changes in Guatemala. Holy shit, where are we getting that from? Where is that where my groceries money, my taxes going towards? I am so surprised. In 2024, USA gave a $2 million grant to the Association Lambda, LAMBDA, in Guatemala, an organization that advocates LGBTQ plus rights. The grant was to deliver gender-affirming healthcare, advocate for improved quality and access to services, and provide economic empowerment and equal opportunities. PolitiFact reached out to that organization to ask what services the grant funded, but they didn't hear back. Of course, speaking with reporters on February 3rd, which is a Monday, Levitt said USA gave a grant for a production of a DEI musical in Ireland. That grant, wow, Caroline, you must be that stupid, are you? That grant came from the State Department, not USAID. That is completely in it. She is complete. Is this the administration idiotic? Is this a nut clown giving people a chance to run the show where he could be the ringleader of said clown show. According to USA Spending, the State Department paid $70,000 in 2022 to Celia Rada. I can't really pronounce it. Company limited by guarantee to promote the U.S. and Irish shared values of diversity, equity, inclusion, and accessibility. The grant funded a 2022 music festival, not a musical. She said a musical. Levitt said a musical. They funded a music festival. The Grupa Izadi, a Serbian LGBTQ plus rights group. According to USA Spending, the 2022 grant from USAID was aimed at promoting workplace diversity in Serbia for LGBTQ plus people and reducing workplace discrimination. Of course, WACJA and of course Levitt also mentioned $47,000 of USAID funding for a transgender opera in Colombia. But she got several of the details wrong. That grant included $25,000 in federal funding. And it came from the State Department, not USAID. Get your facts straight, doofus. The money was ordered to Universidad de los Andes in Bogota, Colombia, as part of a public diplomacy program which aims to advance national interests and to enhance national security by informing and influencing foreign publics, and by strengthening the relationship between the United States and the world. That is going to be strained thanks to a clown. Of course, the money went towards the 2022 production of As One, a coming-of-age story, an opera about a transgender woman. This is wacky for people like me. Of course, the $32,000 for a transgender comic and book in Peru, mentioned by Levitt, was also not part of USAID's funding. The money was awarded to the Fulbright program in Peru. Fulbright is an international educational exchange program sponsored by the State Department designed to increase mutual understanding between the U.S. and other countries. So you are going up against a foreign exchange program? Mike, be serious, Caroline. Of course, the award was to cover expenses to produce a tailor-made comic featuring an LGBTQ hero to address sexual and mental health issues. It does not specifically mention a transgender character. And spending on foreign media. That's rich. Of course, Levitt highlighted USAID spending on $20 million on a new Sesame Street show in Iraq and $40.5 million to combat disinformation in Kazakhstan. That's really shocking to me. The first program was a 2021 grant to Sesame Workshop, the company that makes Sesame Street and international versions of the children's educational show. USAID has funded Sesame Workshop productions in several countries. The grant helped fund Elon System Iraq, an Arab language version of Sesame Street. An archive page describing the grant said it aimed to bring stability to Iraqi children after several years of conflict with the Iraq State and Islamic State of Iraq and Syria, and to promote inclusion, mutual respect, and understanding across ethnic, religious, and sectarian groups. Of course, the webpage said the USAID funding for the program was $20 million. But the grant description on USA Spending shows $13 million was authorized for the project. This is where you're an idiot following the money. The second program Levitt described was a 2023 $4.5 million grant from USAID to Internews Network, an international news media nonprofit, to advance integrity and information accountability in the information space. Of course, Trump's first administration gave a $15 million grant to the same agency in 2018 for their work at Kazakhstan to develop a more balanced information environment in Central Asia. Donald Trump spent all that money for that, folks, in 2018. Think about that for a second. In a July 2019 speech by Trump's then USAID Administrator Mark Green highlighted efforts the agency funded to combat Russian disinformation in Georgia, Bosnia, Kosovo, and elsewhere. It's been a long-standing USA goal to fund local media in Eastern Europe and Central Asia to counter Russian disinformation, according to archived pages from both Trump and former President Barack Obama. Sarah Mendelson, who served as a deputy administrator for USAID under Obama, said reducing foreign aid makes it easier for Russia and China to exert influence in the region. Of course, she said there is no question that efforts around the world, including here, to identify disinformation are in our national security interests. To the extent the U.S. just backs away and the Kazakhs are just being played between Russia and China. That is why the truth matters. That is why we need to listen to the people who read it. If you're not telling the truth about it, you're probably lying about it. That is, their government is funding for better products. You're saying, so what they're saying, a $20 million in taxpayer money is going to a show in Iraq. Actually, when it was done in 2021, then you are idiotic. $13 million was authorized for the project. And when you listen to people, when you listen to the wrong people, you become, congratulations, you become idiots. You become inept clown. You're part of the inept clown show. And you fell for the bullshit every single time. Stay happy, stay healthy, be a good human being. Always check the facts first. Follow me on social media, and I will be back next time. Take care, everybody.